Henry and the Buccaneer Bunnies by Carolyn, Crimi, illustrated by Manders. And look, I think that's probably Henry, and those are the Buccaneer Bunnies at the bottom. Cruising the seven seas on a rickety old ship called the Salty Carrot sailed a wind-rowdy band of Buccaneer bunnies. They were bad bunnies all night, all right. When pirates on the other ship saw their long, floppy ears and their fluffy white tails, they shook with fear. And look, I think those are the Buccaneer bunnies, and they're actually shooting at another ship, and I think it's even on fire. The captain of the Salty Carrot was Barnacle Blackear, the baddest bunny brute of all time. Blackear was proud of his wooden paw, his golden earrings, and his mean reputation. What Blackear was not proud of was his son Henry. Instead of performing his proper pirating duties, Henry was more interested in reading books the Buccaneers stole from other ships. And look, there's Henry, and he even has glasses, and he's reading, actually, you can read, there's a little text, I don't know if you can see that as easily, but it reads, "The Old Hare in the Sea." So he prefers reading about the sea rather than being in the sea. "Shout, shiver me timbers," Blackear ordered. "I'd rather finish this chapter," said Henry. And look, you can see his dad is mad that he's still reading. "Make this prisoner walk the plank." "Can't I just read about it?" asked Henry. "Find yourself a parrot for your shoulder. First, I need to read up on parrot care," said Henry. So his father wants him to get a parrot, but Henry wants to read about a parrot before he gets one. "Buccaneer bunnies don't need books, said Blackear. "Toss them overboard," he yelled to the other bunnies. "No, wait," cried Henry. "Just let me finish them first." "Avast," said Blackear. "Swab the desks until ye come to ye senses." And look, the Buccaneer bunnies are throwing all Henry's books over at the order of his dad. And so Henry swabbed the desks after a day while reading some of his favorite books, like Robinson Crusoe, 30 Days to Long Ears, and 30 Days to Longer Ears. "Bet you can't learn how to do this from a book," Jean Lee Hare said while sharpening his hook. Henry sighed and turned the page. "You'll never find booty like this in a book," Kylo Jackrabbit told him, holding up his stolen loot. Henry shrugged and turned the page. "Can't do this with a book, your paw," Bartholomew Bunny said while standing on his peg leg. Henry just turned to another page. So all of them are saying, "Oh, you should get treasure instead of reading books." As much as he loved books, Henry was a lonely Buccaneer bunny if there ever was one. Then one morning he looked up at the red sky, wriggled his pink nose, and he heard the parrot squawk and fish jump out of the water. "If my books in meteorology are correct, those are signs a big storm is heading this way," he thought. And look, there you can see the parrots getting very scared, probably because they can sense a storm is coming, and the fish are jumping out of the sea because they can sense a storm is coming. And the red sky, so there's red sky at night, sailor's delight, so that means a sailor's happy if there's red skies at night, and red sails in the morning, sailor's mourning, so a sailor doesn't enjoy being out if there's a red sky in the morning, because that means there's probably a storm. Henry tried telling Jean Lee Hare about the upcoming storm. "Excuse me, but I believe there's a storm coming," Henry said, but Jean was too busy polishing his pieces of 8. "Go back to your books, Henry." He tried telling Kylo Jackrabbit. "I'm pretty sure a storm on the way," Henry said. And look, you can see he's looking in the mirror. And he has a little lettuce tattoo. Kylo Jack was busy admiring his tattoo of cabbage. "Don't bother me now, Henry." So as you can see, they're ignoring Henry, and they don't understand what's happening. Finally, Henry cried, "Batten down the hatches, a huge storm is coming." "What do you know about storms?" Blackear demanded. "Get back to swabbing your deck before I make shark bait out of those books of yours." Henry did what he was told, but kept his pink eyes on the skies. Then he saw the rats abandoning ship. He started packing up his books and an empty treasure chest. The storm started small, a few low grumbles of thunder, a spike of lightning. Then suddenly a crashing, bashing, thrashing wildcat of a hurricane broke loose. It shook the ship. Suffering sea dogs! And mangled the mast. Great blimey, bilges. And look, you can see the ship is being hit by huge waves. And look, you can even see one of the rabbits holding onto the mast. And the ship going back and forth. It slashed the sails, damaged the deck, and ripped up the rickety old salty carrot. All that was left floating in the choppy waters were a bunch of soggy bunnies and Henry's treasure chest filled with books. And look, you can see Blackbeard Bunny is very unhappy. You can see all the other rabbits don't know what to do. When the storm finally calmed down, Blackear Henry and the rest of the Buccaneers paddled to the nearest island. "We're ruined," wailed Blackear. "No ship, no pieces of eight, no gems." He sat in the sand and blubbered like a livy-livered landlubber. But Henry got to work. So Henry's pulling things up from the sand. The first thing he did was build a 2-story hut out of palm fronds and coconuts. Oh, look at that. You see all the coconuts, you can see the palm fronds. Wow, that's well built. "How did you learn how to do that?" asked Blackear. "I read 101 things to do with palm fronds and coconuts," replied Henry. I want to read that book if I can make that. That's fantastic. Look at that. You can see made really beautiful stairs, nice door, lookout, 2 hammocks inside to sleep. Next, he built a fire and cooked up a tasty seaweed stew. "Blimey," said the hungry bunnies. "Where did you learn that?" "I found a recipe in quick and easy meals for marooned pirates," said Henry. Look, he's cooking a seaweed stew over the fire, and all the pirates are impressed because look, one of them even has 2 of them have bowls to eat. Then he made them all, fetching garments from bits and pieces that he had salvaged from the shipwreck. "We look like gentle bunnies, we do. What a swank swashbucklers we are." Look, you can see they're all dressed up. "Are, and it's from them land-lubbing books," said Blackear, shaking his head. And look, you can see Blackear, look, he has a wig on. The person with the cabbage tattoo now has a giant white suit on. He taught Blackear and the Buccaneer bunnies all sorts of useful things, like how to plant carrots. And you can see he's teaching one of them how to plant carrots. And make the best sandcastles. Look, they're building sandcastles. And build boats out of palm fronds, so they built a new ship. And look, they're building a ship, so hopefully they'll be able to get off the island. And look, see there in the hammocks that were at the top before, and there are the parrots, and they're calm because there's no storm coming, and it's nice and sunny outside. Which they sailed to the library at the nearby Easter Island every summer. Here the bunnies spent many hours slurping seaweed stew and reading books. "I, Buccaneer bunnies, will always need books," said Blackear. Henry just smiled and turned to the next page. And that was Henry and the Buccaneer Bunnies. I hope you enjoyed.